I do it in
Nice.
chunks. Hey, everybody, it's Ace Attorney.
You started with the sentence, I do it in chunks, huh? That was when you decided to start the stream.
Well, that's not when I decided to start the stream. That's when OBS decided to stop being crashed. But yeah, it's Ace Attorney time.
That makes it a little better. I thought you had just decided haphazardly. I was like, damn, I know our production value is low, but I didn't.
All right, we get to continue adventure. I'm guessing we're gonna start with a cutscene of some kind. The Return of the Great Soul, is that what it said? Whoa, what the fuck is that thing? The Great Departed
big radar
Soul.
gun.
The Return of the Great Departed Soul.
The grand end of the century great exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it.
There's not a soul who has failed.
And industry from every corner of the globe.
I'm not sure if that makes sense.
Hyde Park.
It technically does, but it's much worse than just saying everyone's heard about it.
Million visitors. The last great hurrah of this.
That is actually a lot of people for 1800s.
Yeah, that was crazy.
People of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success.
Is this supposed to be someone, or is this just like a narrator?
I think it's the narrator voice they've been giving to Herlock Sholmes or to Watson.
There's no
Watson,
way.
I guess, technically.
Man.
Yeah, this is supposed to be Watson.
Yes. They really shouldn't have killed that guy in the first game.
Yeah,
There's no reason to.
Feels mean, doesn't it?
Especially because we, as far as I know, have never told his daughter.
No, still haven't.
I don't get why we're holding that as a secret.
I don't know. It feels like she should know.
As clear and lofty as
it's actually only one team, Mulligan.
Watson would be if he were an electricity-themed assistant.
You're thinking the gym leader from Poker Man's.
The great exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
It's just gonna fucking explode, is it? Holy shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical.
I bet the top hat guy is the one that gets it.
Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies.
Well,
and today we showcase even more advanced technology.
When did the Wright brothers do their shit?
After this. Not super long after this, I don't think, but after this.
A world first.
Yeah, I'm googling it. It was like 3 years later, so I don't think this guy's spitting as much as he thinks he is.
A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
You're what?
This can only go well. I hope it just yeets someone into the fucking sky.
It's almost like it's gonna be important later. These games are written as a duology.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna prestige this guy.
A man?
Yeah, I get.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, listen, Wallow guy. Sure, but think about it in terms of the character. I don't care the reason they did it. In terms of the characters, it makes no sense. We know it's her dad. We're not like dumb.
But Naruto put that together forever ago.
We're just sitting here, chilling in England, like, we're not gonna tell her. Her dad? Dead.
No. No.
He sure won't.
And you know what's fucked up is that this will not be the thing that kills this guy somehow.
Yeah, he'll teleport normally and then get shot by an arrow. Oh, wow. They mocapped that, huh?
These gentlemen will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you!
It's one of those, we'll tell her when she's older. Yeah, I just think that that's fucked up. As someone who, like, had a parent die... As someone who had a parent die when I was, like, a baby, I can't imagine, like, being told when I was, like, 14... Oh yeah, she's dead. Like, I would be like, what the hell, man? Incredible voice work here.
22nd October, 9:36 a.m. Sholmes' suite. Bruno! Ah, Jesus. Bruno, are you listening?
Did you scare yourself?
I guess. Oh, sorry.
Why
what was that, Iris? I was imagining a guy being teleported and then he died. What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning.
I was thinking about your dead dad.
I was thinking about how I didn't tell you about your dead dad. Oh, shit, wait.
Fucking hit her with it, like, immediately. Now that would be funny.
Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again?
What if it was? What if he was like, yeah, why are the beans on the toast?
Doesn't make sense.
It's stupid. You gave me a toast sandwich. It was just 3 pieces of bread.
But the outer 2 were cooked. Or the inner 2 were...
The inner
one is
the inner
cooked.
one. Remember, it's toast between 2 pieces of normal bread?
Ah, right, yeah. Obviously. Today's paper, it was full of news about the Great Exhibition again. Ah, yes, the Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime.
Everyone's heard about that. Great Exhibition.
You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley? Oh no.
There he is. He's run out of cocaine.
Did you say something, Iris? Are you good, man? Oh gosh, you're even more down. And
You poisoned everyone, Iris.
I'm willing to make it your problem. Bah! When did you arrive, Mr. Naruto? I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I, thought you might have known I was here, you know, because breakfast? Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much so that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks.
This is a you problem.
Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes,
I assume this is after Susato leaving.
Yeah, it must be. For example, your tousled hair this morning with all its unruly spikes. Clearly it can be deduced, therefore, that... let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has. Ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again.
What a freak.
It crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now.
Oh, wow, that's a hell of a time skip.
6 months? Since I was forbidden from working in court. Wait, huh?
Oh, I forgot! He got hurled out of court. Wait, did we know that?
I don't think so. Dude, was he prevented from working in court again after that last one?
Must be.
It would have been the last one in the last game, is the latest we are on the timeline, so this is 6 months after that at least. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned. Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. 10 days.
10 days.
Don't you agree, Hurley?
Bro, just do some drugs, man.
You say something, Iris? Ah, back to moping.
This fucking guy.
I don't remember being forbidden from court at the end of that case. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me. I'm basically unemployed. I know, and the Great Exhibition is open. You'd think he'd be excited. Why don't we all go to see it together? I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not?
Who's the time being?
Who's the time being? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from? Is that it?
Nah, it's gonna be something stupider.
I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley.
It's gonna be like detectives and inventors are natural enemies.
I suppose I should try to find out what's going on.
Some stupid shit like that.
I suppose I should humor this, basically, is where he's going. Events 6 months ago, I would love to know about that.
Hey, you remember the thing 6 months ago that I definitely know about?
Half a year ago now. I took on the defense of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery. Okay, so I do remember this. turned out to be one part of a much... Oh, right.
Maybe
this is why he was forbidden from working in court.
Right, there was a whole thing with fucking Windahams where the guy, was
the
collecting
guy
the thing.
Was a spy.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Turned out to be... And there was the cat flap maker.
There was I'll fucking kill you, Molo guy, you stupid
that
bastard.
Involved the British government. During the course of that trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. Oh, right, because he found out that
Right, we didn't know all about this.
Yeah,
he had to show the evidence thing that he couldn't.
He had to
He'd
show
like break the law to prove she was innocent.
Right, but also I think he's specifically talking about that fucking the Irish guy whose name I can't remember definitely did the murder that he got off for.
Yeah.
Words fail me. This situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruto.
Yes, my lord.
I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial.
Of course, my lord. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing.
Imagine the judge comes back out and he's like, hold on, I can do it.
All right.
I can do it. God damn it. Hold on, I can do it. Fuck! No, hold on. I'm spiraling.
No,
hold on.
You got this.
The judge comes out, right? It's very tense, and he goes, "No, damn it! I can't." Hold on. Hold on.
I'll just take a drink really quick so I can spit take.
The judge comes out, and he goes,
I've made my decision.
hanged by the nuts until dead.
That almost was a spit take.
I don't know why that fucking sentence is so.
Oh man, that would probably take a long time.
I think it's the until dead part that gets me. God, that's what I'm saying.
I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing.
Oh God.
We're broken again.
No, it's fine. I can recover from this. It's fine.
You don't have any lines for a while, so it's okay. You have, haven't you, Bruno?
Really
reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room.
Oh yeah, big fat tomes, dude. That's what I'm saying.
And the notes about Sholmes' old cases. Brewing Iris's special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Master Naruto. That might be racist, Holmes. Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider.
Any man can be a servant.
Specifically Lord Strongheart at the British Supreme Court.
Fuck yeah! I love that guy.
Lord Strongheart?
He better be in a case. We, like, barely see him. We've met him once.
Well, joking. Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to.
He's not.
He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. I can't do that just sitting around here. The Great Exhibition. The whole of London has been swept into this great exhibition, hasn't it? Most advanced science, the most modern technology, and the finest works of art and feats of engineering. Probably, Mall Guy. I don't know the fan names because I never fucking pirated this game like some sort of degenerate.
He's the guy that's like in the stained glass chapel.
He's in the clocks room.
The clocks room with the pigeons?
Yeah.
There's like pigeons fucking everywhere?
For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things and the world will be watching. Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons. Look down on? Do you mean those things fly? Balloons? Yes.
He's not heard of a hot air balloon?
Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air.
Those have been around for a while.
But
I'm pretty sure. Hold on.
How does hot air not have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense.
Balloon history.
I can't understand it at all.
Yeah, the hot air
like one of
balloon's
those
from
things that-
1783, bro. Like I was like, hot air balloons aren't even new technology. What are they what are they talking about?
That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. Most people can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge.
Yeah, the Park Watch. Yeah, he was like the time
I suppose
guy.
they might be.
Maybe he's the time being.
Oh, he could be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I'd love to see just how bad some of these scam experiments really are. Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. I love learning about scams. It's great as long as you're not one of the people being scammed. You get
Or
to laugh at how
as long as
stupid
you
this
don't-
is.
Yeah, as long as you don't hear too much about the people that lose money either.
Yeah, that's the other problem with scams is that people fall for them.
That's the thing that's always a bit sad.
It's interesting but sad every time. See here, every page of this paper carries some article or other about the Great Exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. The Great Exhibition newspaper has been entered to the court record. Shadows cast behind. Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? I only like to read the funnies section, Mr. Naruto.
Have you ever heard of comics, Mr. Naruto?
How do you feel about... I can't come up with the name of any fucking comic strip suddenly.
Blondie.
Blondie, or,
Family Circus.
Family
Garfield?
Circus. Garfield. Yeah, I know. They just all left my mind.
Boondocks?
What's that one with the Viking?
Oh, fuck. I don't remember that one, actually.
That was the one that came to my mind,
comic.
and I couldn't remember the name of it, and then
I
all
don't know
other
the
ones
name of
left
that
my
one either.
brain.
Do you remember the one that was like really wildly like high detailed art? It was like some sort of fantasy epic.
I do not, but that sounds kind of kick-ass.
I never read it because it was always in the middle of a story arc and I never knew what the fuck was going on.
Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? That's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shush! Quiet, Mr. Naruto. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. You're acting very strangely, Hurley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually... The more mysterious and
Hagar the
complicated-
Horrible sounds right.
That's the one. The more mysterious and complicated the case is, the better Hurley's mood. Ah. Is it really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please! You mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes.
You say that, huh?
Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. My attorney's badge. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, about this. Shush! Not another word! Ah, yes, I see. This would be a collar for a breed of miniature canine with a particularly long neck, and for winter use. Actually, it's the armband I always wear that symbolizes my role as a defense lawyer. Precisely! Which leads us to but one conclusion. Your arm is, in fact, the particularly long neck of a miniature canine. I'm starting to wish I'd never shown him this now. The man's barking mad.
Get it? Dog joke.
I can't move, so, like, I guess I'll look at what else is around. I don't see anything new in particular, though. Not that this, I don't think I'd notice if there was anything new. This place is a fucking travesty. Ah, I could look at this. The typewriter. I can type with my eyes shut, you know. I can too, you're not special. I can believe it. When a deadline's
Well, she is
approaching, you sound
special,
like a
but
cat
not for
again.
that. She can make a cat door flappinator.
That reminds me of a dream I had the other day. It was such a funny one. It woke me, actually. I was typing for a whole hour in the pitch black, but I didn't make a single mistake. That's incredible. But then when it got light, I found that there wasn't any paper in the machine. Now I wonder if I'd actually been typing at all. I think you might just have fallen asleep on the job. Well, I guess I could present the newspaper, see if that does anything for me. Newspaper? Mr. Sholmes, about this. My dear fellow, without wishing to sound rude, I'm currently in the middle of a very important blink. Perhaps some other more convenient time, hmm? Is there a set time for your important blinks, or are they an all-day affair? Just so I know. I guess there's something that I have to examine in this room. Ah, yes, the huge metal chest with the lace cloth laid on it, being used as a table for tea and coffee. It's very sturdy, that's for sure, and firmly locked shut. That chest contains my father's detailed records of Hurley's many cases. Yes, so I've been led to believe. Though personally, I've never actually seen inside. That's the way it will stay. Those papers are a secret between Daddy and me. If you go opening it uninvited, you might find yourself being bitten. What, is there a beast inside there or something?
No, I'm just going to bite you with my teeth.
Munch crunch. What am I supposed to be looking for? It didn't, like, it didn't unlock more dialogue, did it? No? What do I do? I'm not used to being lost this soon. Didn't you pawn this?
I've just clicked on everything.
Ah, yes, Mr. Sholmes' faithful musical companion. Wasn't this violin made by somebody famous? Yes, it's a Stradivarius. I'm afraid you'd have to save up for 100 years before you could afford one, Bruno. If I were to save up for 100 years, I wouldn't choose to buy a violin, personally. Oh, what would you buy, then? I really have no idea. I think I'll have to do it so I can find out.
Link is code for cocaine. Hey, true.
I have an important cocaine to be doing. Every time I look at that machine, I can't help thinking what a monstrosity it is. What's it called again? The Great Analytoscope. It can analyze absolutely anything, you know. It does seem incredible.
This is just that thing from NCIS that Abby always had.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, incredibly useless. Oh, wrong voice. Ah, but it looks impressive, doesn't it? So that makes it very useful. How does that make it useful? Because it means you can pawn it for lots of money. The pawnbrokers always make idle remarks like, what an incredible looking machine. So Hurley often takes it to the pawn shop when he's a little short. Sounds like this thing pulls its weight around here more than I realized, by having its weight pulled around. A pun, you see.
I think that's actually just wordplay.
Books, papers, scientific implements, these shelves are stuffed to the gunnels. Mr. Sato wouldn't be able to help herself if she were here. She can't stand mess. Cersei might not be able to stand mess, but she wouldn't dare touch these shelves. Oh, why not? Everything's in intricate balance. Hurley spends ages on it. If you were to touch even one thing, the whole lot would come tumbling down. Cersei noticed it was very delicate arrangement right up from the outset. Make it sound like a meeting of great minds. But the truth is, Mr. Sholmes just needs to tidy up. What else on this shelf is important? Can I present people in the court record? Is that a thing I can do? I don't have access to people, so that can't be it.
Well, your thing was glowing by the couch. Did you click on whatever that is? There, go up. Yeah, see.
The fire.
You go up by the fire.
I do love a good fire in the colder months. Watching the flames flickering and dancing about is just so very relaxing. Cleaning out the chimney isn't so relaxing, though. No, getting covered in Sid isn't my idea of fun.
That's why I hire a guy.
That's why I hire a guy. A sweeb, even. You know, Hurley decided he was going to clean it out himself last year.
That's not smart.
But you can guess what happened, can't you? He got himself stuck inside the flue.
Of course.
He's a very slim man, I admit, but there are limits to where a fully grown man can fit. Now every time he dozes off by the fire, he has nightmares about it. Okay, no, yes, no, here, no books. Click on the chest. Share, over here, this way. Ah, all these different pieces of evidence from cases that Mr. Sholmes have solved are very interesting. The trouble is, Hurley forgets things so quickly. He never remembers why these things are relevant. The other day, for example, he saw the orange pips that were there and decided to plant them in the garden. Pips? Yes, they've all sprouted now. We have 5 new little plants. Oh, well, I don't know what case they were from, but if Mr. Sholmes can get oranges to grow outside in England, he should change his profession.
True!
It's a good point, actually. Tea. I look forward to finding out what aroma your tea will have, Iris, every single day. Ah, well, I infuse a different concoction of herbs from the garden every time, so it's never the same twice. When you call it a concoction, it sounds more like a science experiment than something for tea time. Oh yes, that's because different blends can have very different properties. Some calm you down, some make you feel jolly, some give you energy.
The sinister concoction.
Today's particular blend is something quite special, so you're really in for a treat. That sounds ominous.
It kills you. It's poison.
It's just poison.
I made
yes.
it from deadly nightshade.
Ah yes, this is where you jot down your math equations, isn't it, Iris? What's in the melting pot today? The blue carbuncle. That's a gem. Yes, it's from a case of theft that Hurley solved ages ago. The theft of a precious stone. A carbuncle is another name for a garnet, you see, especially if it's cut with a rounded top. Oh, really? And this garnet was blue, was it? Well, that's the thing. They're usually red. No blue garnets have ever been discovered. Oh. So who knows what the stolen gemstone actually was? That's the real mystery of the case. Proper Herlock Sholmes conundrum, huh? I mean, if he solved it, shouldn't you know what the actual gem was, or did he never actually find the gem?
No, dude, he ate it, actually.
He ate it. So many different bottles up there on that charming little set of white shelves. Oh, do be careful, Runo. You mustn't try the contents of any of those bottles, even if you're hungry. I wouldn't do something stupid like that. I'm not a child, you know.
Actually, I think you would, man. Based on what I know. You drink all your medicine at once.
I forgot about that. Well, I wish I could say the same for Hurley. The other day he polished off a full bottle of one of my alkaloids. He what? He said he was hungry. I'll be extra careful.
That's not a sober man.
He just drank a whole bottle of alkaloids. You know, like a sane person would do. I have clicked on everything in this room, I think. What am I missing? I can't converse with other... Like, Iris is in the room, but I can't look at her. Unless I can do this. Do that? No, it just pulls me back to here. I present my armband again. Nah, he says the same thing. Okay. This is the most stuck I've ever been. The soonest it's ever been. Like, I can't leave this location. And I've exhausted all the dialogue. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna have to Google this.
No, you'll be fine. Just find the thing.
Oh, hold on.
Just fine.
Nope. No, I thought I saw a new one. No.
Maybe we went in a more systematic span of the room.
You know, I'm gonna use my mouse for this one so I can actually, like... The controller is not good for, like, smooth motions.
Yeah, they are. What?
It's not good for precise motions, I guess is what I mean.
Oh, I see. What?
Hi, Zybra. How's it going? I'm lost.
Hello?
It's a locked room mystery, but there's not actually a mystery. I'm just kind of stuck.
There's no orangutan.
Gotta be something in this room. No, while I was talking about that chest would have been a good opportunity. By the way, speaking of your father, Iris.
Speaking of your father and secrets, boy, do I have a doozy for you.
That's true, that's true. We are all just kind of trapped in a room, aren't we?
If you think about it, life is just a series of rooms that you get trapped in.
True, that's true. There's nothing. There's nothing in this room. What have I done wrong? Okay, we're just gonna go through all the conversations again, I guess. Monk. If there's any new dialogue, it'll stop me. Wing. Oh, it's not in here. Shadows cast behind. Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page?
Do you have to look at the back of the paper? You didn't turn it over?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Reaper attacked! So many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on there. I didn't take that as a clue for some reason. I'm glad it stopped me long enough to read that. Other than this rather
I think it's because we immediately began
is.
making jokes about comics.
Could be. Wait, what? What's the matter, Bruno? Wife is using your back as a pillow. Nice.
Nice.
The Reaper attacked? That's Lord Van Zeeks. This must be what Mr. Sholmes was talking about. Does he know any more, I wonder? Lord Van Zeeks and compatriot cornered. Ruffians aim to intimidate a man of justice.
Lost cat.
Lost cat. Hey, Mr. Sholmes, what happened to the Reaper? It says in the paper that Lord Van Zeeks was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Barack Von Zeeks.
Who was not a baron.
Who's not a baron. They say that if the Reaper is a prosecutor in a case, there's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Narhado? Yes, I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Many of these criminal rogues are reckless and quite unafraid to die. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital is a never-ending supply of such scoundrels. So, do you mean Lord Van Zeeks has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although...
He turns into a swarm of bats! Don't know how he does that.
Assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness. Is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zeeks hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? Well, in the article here it says, as to what of Lord Van Zeeks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition. Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait until tomorrow. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who?
Gregson.
Lord Stronghort.
Hort?
Stronghort. Lord Strongheart, perhaps. Ah, you've put on your coat. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. The thought hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Ha 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 ha! Well then, see you later indeed. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out of the door. What the fuck?
That sucks. Why are you wearing that?
All right then, Bruno, let's get going. Oh, Iris, what are you wearing? I've got change to go to the Great Exhibition. You're going to take me. What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court. Oh, well that sounds fun too. You're going to take me there then. All right, fine.
He's gonna kill us!
Lower that weapon, would you? Of course. And after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see the Great Exhibition. All right, I guess we're going to the Supreme... a new location has been added.
I really hate that hat.
It's really fucked up.
It's a bad fucking hat.
The clock room, full of doves.
The pigeons.
22nd October. British Supreme Court Lord Chief Justice's office.
There's no way I remember what this guy's fucking voice was. He talked once, like, at the very start of the last game.
It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. But some things never change. Like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. Doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here. Of course. I was forgetting that you've been here before.
What?
The time we came here 6 months ago. When Susato-san was given the news that she was to return to Japan.
This is, yeah,
I'm
so
assuming
what do you think? Yeah, what do you think I did?
It's a male strong heart.
Strong heart.
I feel like it was maybe a Scottish thing is what I'm remembering, but I don't know if that's true.
A Scottish frog. I'm really bad at being consistent with Scottish, though.
That's the problem.
I mean, it's bad. It's always bad, but it's both bad and it drifts into, like, fucking bad Irish. Hold on. Let me think about how Shrek talks. Maybe I can.
It's just your best Michael Myers or Mike Myers.
Get
Michael
out
Myers
of
is a
the
different
swamp.
guy.
I understand you wish to speak with me. But my boo.
My boo. Oh, Lord Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well.
I've already lost it. I just keep thinking about the words. My boo, if you could change your fate, would you? Can you believe that that's all that Brave boiled down to was 2 memes?
Right. Sad. Could have had at least a third. I don't know what it would have been, but...
Let's see. Since you arrived and quested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes. And... 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies.
He's been waiting here for 4 hours.
4.5 hours.
Oh no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around, staring into space.
Good to know.
Good to know that doesn't appear to bother him at all.
You like how my court is piss green?
Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London.
I meant to say pee. Dude, go to a doctor if your piss is green. That's probably not okay.
Not supposed to be that bad.
It's not supposed to be that color.
He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status.
As you'll be well aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium.
Ooh.
Or IFS, for short.
Oh, I've not heard about that.
Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land.
Ah,
Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it.
I hope when this guy inevitably shows up in court later and does this pose, doves also just fly from wherever behind him.
They better. If they don't, I'm gonna be pissed. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do. It is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it.
Oh, it's nice to know where I stand.
So, you wish to consult with me? Of course. I can very well imagine what this is about.
Ah, well, thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind as it happens. Bruno, just take a deep breath and come out with it.
Does that child have a gun?
Who allowed this child into my office?
Why are you here, small? Did you just make a cat flap in my pillar? How have you done that?
Shouldn't have made it hollow, I guess. I actually came here today asking for your permission.
Go on.
6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. He's just straight up ignoring me, and I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the courtroom again. No.
Mr. Naruto.
Yes? Ugh, here it comes.
You know what voice I'm, like, specifically, like ending up at? Have you ever heard of the Scottish comedian Limmy?
Yes.
From the memes?
Yeah.
There was a show that he did, like, on his skit show. One of the things was he did, like, the skit was he was, like, the host of, like, a late night call-in and adventure, and, like, oh, I go left, I go right.
Right.
So he, like, was dressed up as, like, in a shitty fantasy costume, and he was, like, named something Falconhoof, and he does, like, a stupid little voice like that. Like, I mean, obviously he's actually Scottish, but, like, he puts on the same affect that I am finding that I'm doing. So
here we are.
That's where we've gotten to. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you're a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role.
Well, that's
but
true.
Then he got pushed over and died.
The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on this study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. It's playing his theme music again. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Asagi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him.
What's heavier, a kilogram of steel or a kilogram of feathers? That's right, a kilogram of steel. Because steel's heavier than feathers. Oh no, you can't do that. Look at all the feathers, that's cheating. I know, but they're both a kilogram. His calling, you say? Has never occurred to you? That perhaps you know nothing of his true calling.
Sorry?
The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was?
What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense.
You ever killed the man? Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions.
Do you mean...
As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain.
Hell yeah. In Great Dublin.
In Great Dublin?
Ireland. Great Dublin.
What?
You know, Big Dublin. The whole place is just Dublin, right?
Ah, yes. As a Scotsman, my favorite city is Dublin.
I don't know why I thought you were doing Irish this whole time. I just forgot.
I talked about Libby.
I know
the
you
Scottish
did.
comedian.
Listen, it's not your fault. It's my fault. I know. Thank you so much. That's wonderful news, Bruno. Why is this fucking child in here?
Why is this child here? What's going on? In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to make it come back. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope.
Of course. Please tell me more.
Man exploded.
A curious affair. You described it as a curious affair?
Aye, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday?
Oh, no. Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Oh, those Germans.
Oh, he was German. You have to be a sad German boy.
Excellent. Let me see. Is this what Mulligan was talking about that whole time?
Yes. Well, obviously. You knew a German had to show up because Mulligan is that kind of person.
Let me see. How was it described?
Kind of Mulligan.
Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think. Instantaneous kinesis, as in moving things with the click of the fingers? That's right. It's just what my herba blends need, a dash of devil-may-care. Whatever the serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination.
It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage, and the man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odie Assman.
Okay.
Run that by me again?
One more time?
Odie Assman?
Yes. Like odious man?
Odious man, I guess?
I guess.
Mr. Odie Assman, an investor and well-known figure in society.
A Mr. Stinky Buttman. A large explosion. A man died?
Speaking of dead men, Iris.
Real quick, while we're here. Fucking, okay.
This one they did try. The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Hairbrain. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow. On the charge of murder.
That should be manslaughter at least, right?
You think it would be manslaughter, yeah. I don't think they have manslaughter.
Murder?
They always say murder, even when it's like, you know. If you intend to take his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation.
Great exhibition, a scientific experiment gone wrong, and murder.
You got prestige,
I feel out of my depth before I've even started. Still. We should go to the prison straight away then and try to meet with this German professor. Don't you think? Definitely.
I hate that she picked up the little Herlock Sholmes finger thing.
Yeah.
Aye. One more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper.
Oh, with Lord Van Zeeks. How? I assume he'll tell us at some point.
All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium.
It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Ah! Where did those doves come from?
Don't worry about it. London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, and it always will be, as now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible.
So it's important that we address the socioeconomic pressures that are causing people to resort to crime, right? Right?
No. What are you, a communist?
Which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it?
Exactly. The future of policing.
Ah!
Robot cops. Caves of steel. Brillo. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods.
Oh dear, that's alarming.
I think you're doing it a little too often, man. These are too many. Exactly! It's extremely alarming.
The fucking bird catchers behind those fences being like, shit, we gotta catch them again, he's doing it. Ah!
He's doing it again. Dude, the script is fucked. He's doing it like 8 times. If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different than the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim.
Sorry?
By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier,
oh no!
I shall detail everyone now.
What? Oh, how fascinating.
Number 1, it all began 15 years ago. I was in
wow, they're actually... Oh god, he's blacking out.
A Scottish lock. I see. That's the biggest egg I've ever seen. But then he was hanged from by the nuts till dead. And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter, in the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission.
Oh, right, yes. That's wonderful.
Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be.
Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now. Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful? I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Alright, newspaper.
You present the newspaper?
Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this?
The reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition? Of course.
No, not that. The story on the back page.
What story? Ah, fiery ball gown sets dance hall ablaze.
Women form new suffragist group. Oh, hey, there's an article about the Altamont Gas Company here.
Can you believe that the women want to vote? It's crazy. The Reaper attacked. Ah, that.
I'm sorry, what's that skeleton one? Skeleton captures bumbling burglar?
Almost Pennsylvania.
Huh?
Huh.
Huh.
You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not?
Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he?
By the nuts!
By the nuts!
There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zeeks would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. They didn't even stake him. They didn't have holy water, no garlic. They were really unprepared. Very well. It interests you.
It does, strangely. Van Zeeks' condition.
Fortunately, Lord Van Zeeks emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter.
But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked?
No silver bullets.
Do we know?
It's related to events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zeeks. But the man was acquitted, I've no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes.
Large sums of money?
A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday.
But you're not suggesting that that was the work of the Reaper, surely?
The victim's henchmen certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name of Asman, Mr. Odie Asman.
Extremely related, it would seem. Did you say Assman? That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition.
Aye, known publicly as an investor, in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization.
Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart?
Try me.
Why do you use Lord Van Zieks as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet with mysterious ends outside the courtroom. And fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zieks first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still. Something's clearly going on here.
I have Van Zieks worked for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following the trials are nothing to do with him.
But that doesn't make any sense. How can you explain the way so many have died if not by someone's hand?
Van Zieks may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the crown.
Yeah, I mean, I've never thought that he's going around killing people. That would be crazy.
Unless he wishes otherwise, of course.
That would be far too obvious if he were just the one doing it.
Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late.
Jesus!
My colleagues may be starting to fidget.
11 hours late? That's quite something.
That meeting had already started when I arrived here for this engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man.
I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh yes, where would I find Lord Van Zieks now?
I would assume he's at his office.
Right, I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth.
Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Hairbrain's defense entirely in your hands.
Of course, yes. Thank you very much, my lord. I don't want to be here anymore. A new location has been added. I want to go see Van Zieks' office. Yep, this is about how I imagined it would look, TBH. Including the giant portrait in the background.
Of himself, yes.
Ooh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office.
He's storing his wine like shit, though.
Yeah.
It's
in the window.
It's in the window. What is he doing? Well, maybe those are the bottles he's gonna drink today, so it doesn't matter.
Yes, it
that must
so.
be it, right? Because there's no way.
Yeah. It sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere. Oh, is that? That hooded figure was so still I hadn't noticed his or her presence. Wonder who it is.
Is the person in the picture, but
I'm assuming this is Van Zieks. Not the
What are
figure,
you doing here?
The voice. Ah! I haven't seen
you
in first person
face
before.
on. Oh no, he's hot.
He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well.
I am. Blade.
So, who's the person over by the wall being punished for something or other?
No punishment is taking place over there.
Oh.
That's my apprentice. And he's sitting there of his own free will. Feathers are heavier. Steel is just steel. Without many feathers, you have to also carry the thought of what happened to those poor birds. The emotional weight.
I didn't know you had an apprentice. They must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper.
He's very able in combat. A requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage.
Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers?
The Reaper? Hey, I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming that is such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms.
Yeah, I imagine he must be, like, pretty pissed that somebody keeps on killing all of the people. Last night's attack. Lord Strongheart said the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack.
True. Carried out by the henchmen of Odi Osman's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably, some hoped to kill me before that happened.
Do you think the organization is just called the Ass Men?
I hope it's just called the Ass Men.
Oh, the Ass Man.
He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities.
And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper.
But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances, it was a most unusual cause of death.
I know about that. It was super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Asman died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion.
Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you?
Well, no, that does seem a little far-fetched. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death at least. It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Bruno? I mean, what with you taking on the don't tell him that for free. What with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow?
What? You're going to be defending him.
Oh, yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest.
You don't remember Albert Hairbrain? Albert, play, vampire, Albert Hairbrain.
That's right. Do you know him by any chance?
I don't want to talk about it. Of course.
Who do you think gave me this immortal body?
He was the one that turned. I am a freak of science. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together.
You're... what? I'm gonna have to poke around this room before we leave. Remind me to do that after this conversation. There's some insane shit in here.
Oh, you like his little miniature?
Yeah. This is me. I understand that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though.
Hairbrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out his research, that's all.
That's not going to stop me from giving him a German accent. So you were students together. He picked it up very quickly.
I was in the faculty of law, of course. And he in science, so our paths really crossed. But curiously, we got along. Though I have not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our encounter to take this form. I hate that he just does this sometimes. I'm angry. And with you, of all people, representing him,
Ugh, only if I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems.
Yes, I know. Because the prosecution will be handled by me.
By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends.
So, Brock and Albert sitting in a tree. Kissing. We were roommates, it's true.
Then why would you do this? If the Reaper's
Crime
the
is
prosecutor,
crime, isn't
there's
it?
nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed. That's very rude, little girl.
How
What's
dare
Lord
you
Van Ziek's
call me
thinking?
that?
Alright, let me poke around the room really quick before we get kicked out of it. Why does he have a full model of the fucking... the exhibition here? Hey, I'm gonna click
cool,
on
isn't
you
it?
real quick. What's your deal? It really looks like a punishment to me. I've never seen someone sitting like that before. He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. Do you think perhaps he's dead? If he was dead, Bruno, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he?
Rigor
Anyway,
mortis.
dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us. He's not dead. You don't
But
know.
you know who is?
That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? It's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Ziek's facial features. Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think. That reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him. How vain.
That was
That's really not an
That
attractive
was him
quality in
more
a
attractive?
I guess
The
so.
paintings were him more attractive? Oh no,
I don't know,
Napoleon, my boy.
Oh boy.
He does not look that good in those portraits.
That's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it?
That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious.
Oh, then
What's his brother or some
who
shit?
is it? Father, maybe? I love but imagine if your fucking, like, work rival, I guess, busted into your office to ask you some questions and then started, like, looking at the decor and going, huh, that's kind of fucked up. And just pointing at everything in the room.
Maybe the one with Napoleon on the horse. That one makes him look pretty hot.
Oh, look, it's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground.
Other ones are not doing it.
That's amazing.
Just
Wonder
kinda
why
looks
it's
like a
here.
guy.
Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person. Or perhaps
Why
he's
did
too
it offer me
embarrassed to queue up
Napoleon
for a
fan
ticket.
art? What is going on here? Roblox? Hold on, I'm going down a rabbit hole. Right into my Napoleon Bonaparte outfit. Someone on Reddit. r/Roblox avatars.
Incredible.
Surely it's obvious that I'm using it as an investigation aid. Blame of Empire. You Nipponese have no well, there's only one Nipponese here. Sir.
First of all, one of these is a British child.
You Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved.
Ugh. I really didn't think he'd overhear that. Why? Why would you not?
He's like
standing-
3 feet away from you.
Even if we consider that he's maybe at his desk, he can surely hear you from that distance. Lord Van Ziek's desk, look, it's so stylish. And that's a marble chess set beside it. Chess. That's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems. Oh, really? You'd probably like chess problems in that case. Yeah, probably. I'd love to challenge Lord Van Ziek sometime. To a bout of shogi problems. If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that on your own at home.
I would crush you in shogi.
Look at that
I
fine
would
collection
learn
of
that
hallowed
interest-
chalices and bottles neatly lined up there.
My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit.
It's very funny to me to think of him just like going around to vineyards and going, yes.
Yes, this is a fine grape. I will take it. Do you mean you want... No, just this grape.
Just the grape.
This is the best
I've
one.
got my own people.
Goodbye. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystals craftsmen in the world.
Maybe you should
which is good
smash
because I
less
break
of
like
them.
12 of them a day.
And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless.
Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes.
Oh,
Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile.
so it's my fault? Silly me. How could I have ever thought otherwise?
He smashes all the goblets. Just punches them.
Alright, I think that was everything to click on, unless this is something. It feels like it should be, but it's not. I have no idea what the fuck that is, actually, looking at it.
It looks like a distillery.
Oh, yeah,
small
you're
one.
right. Okay, yeah, I see it now. He's got the laser set up here, and a balloon over here, question mark?
Yeah, I don't know why that dead guy. There's a dead guy by the balloon, but you know.
Maybe it had something to do with the thing that happened. Maybe a balloon crashed on him. Ugh. The Reaper's identity.
Balloon crash. How did he die? Balloon crash.
What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean...
I'm a crown prosecutor and a mortal like any other. I'm no demigod, and definitely not a vampire.
But they've all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal. Well, no. We know at least 2 people who haven't been killed. Unless
so far.
Unless something happened to that street urchin that we don't know about.
Uh-oh. Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who, without question, deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them.
But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all.
Well,
Arguable. Nor was Ginny. In fact, she's ever so hard-working now.
she no longer picks people's pockets. I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind, not my work.
Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true. It's hardly his fault, is it?
The fact is, since people started calling me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially.
Oh.
It would appear that wouldn't work in real life. Capital punishment does not deter criminals.
No.
It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives.
Have you heard of the Batman?
Have you heard of the Batman? I am also the Batman, but I'm not a vampire.
Do you mean to say?
I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor.
But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed.
Unlikely. They don't bring stakes. If that is my fate, let God decide.
Lord Van Zeeks.
Goes hard, man.
That goes kind of hard.
You like my armband?
Like my armband? Lord Van Zeeks.
You're not going to show him the armband?
No, I will. About the article in this paper.
Ah, yes. It seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. And they set up a camera somehow. Do you know how long it takes for a photo to work in our day and age?
Quite a while.
It's like 20 minutes, at least. How did they get this? I don't know.
King Charles VIII of Denmark issued a proclamation today announcing the results of his careful reconsideration as to who the rightful winner of the prize of his father, Frederick VI, offered the first man to discover any new comet with the aid of a telescope should be.
May not even be a man at all? Rather a young American lady by the name of Maria Mitchell of Nantucket, Mass.
I wonder how many of these are real things. I don't also know that Pennsylvania article does confuse me. I'm like, what?
Two burglars recent. Oh, I was trying to read it.
Oh, sorry.
I had no idea I was photographed, I think is what I said.
It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though.
Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them.
There's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it?
No.
No.
As I mentioned, As I mentioned already. He's my apprentice. Stop asking dumb questions.
Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him?
No.
Oh, hold on, really quick.
Do you like my armband?
Hold on, the present is in a different menu. Like my arm? I know you've seen this around my arm before, but...
What is it, exactly?
It's the mark of a defense lawyer, in Japan at least.
And what's your reason for showing it to a British prosecutor?
Oh, well, I don't know, really.
I can understand, at least. There's merit in reminding yourself of who helped you become what you are today.
Oh.
But that's a personal matter. Something you may want to keep close at all times. Not something to flaunt.
No, I suppose not. Thank you for
That
understanding.
means he got that pin from whoever that guy in the back is.
I got an achievement for that.
Nice! Nice! We're gaming now!
Your apprentice.
He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose.
You said it several times. Ah, like you are to Hurley then, Bruno. I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective.
He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack.
Looks like he's wearing some kind of mask.
But Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity.
Why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual?
Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There will be a good reason for his actions.
I hope you're right. Oh, he's standing up.
There.
Whoa.
Hey, man. Nobody cared who they were until they put the mask on.
Ah!
The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs.
Nice to meet you.
Don't say anything, just leave. Yeah.
There are bats hanging from the
They're
ceiling over
bats.
there.
I
What
know,
the fuck?
right? I was about to, I also just, yeah.
Back to work again.
I'm not the Batman, nor am I a vampire.
That was really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed. And yet, somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter.
I hope it's somehow causal. Like, just in like something completely insane. Like, he's not actually dead. He's put on a spooky mask and begun following around Lord Zeke's.
Peculiar.
Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anyone from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it.
Oh, I see. Because he has an accent, perhaps.
Because he's Japanese. Why are you so interested in my apprentice, anyway?
Hmm? Oh, no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to... The way he stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. It couldn't be.
Is it actually going to be Kazuma? That'd be nuts. Ah, yes. There's something I've been meaning to ask you.
Oh, what's that?
That Nipponese man, is he faring well?
Sorry?
He won't be for long.
Ah,
The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago with the stoop and the moustache and the jitters.
Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Runo.
I'm
Well,
glad they're playing the dumbass music.
well,
for
then
him.
you should stop being. She should stop being the way he was if he wanted to not be known that way. He's fine, thank
What?
you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day.
I see. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you spend it investigating the case.
Yes, thank you for the advice and for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Soseki-san. After a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried. I mean, he's not gonna fucking boat to Japan to go kill the guy, come on.
No, I would arrange it locally. I'd
Never
send a
imagined.
letter.
I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn-up for the books. A mad scientist. Ah, you mean Professor Hairbrain. Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zeeks, I think. Anyway, hold on, real quick. I want to see if these bats are examinable. How did we not notice those? Ah,
I don't think they were. I feel like they weren't there earlier.
Wow, they were bats! Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect. But what about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar. Just not the flying
No, he's
kind.
the thrall.
He must be a dear friend to Mr. Reaper, then. I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary, though, either way. I'm glad those bats just attacked me when I clicked on them. I wasn't expecting that.
Hey, man.
22nd October, local prison.
That's a very
cell
tiny
11.
little book.
A very small book. The warden said cell 11. That's this one. Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner there. Look. What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Hairbrain? Oh. Hello? Who are you? I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a defense lawyer. A lawyer? Ah, was it something I said? A lawyer, you say? Would you be here about this experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... Yesterday's demonstration. My German's not very good. That demonstration was... That magnificent demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. A guy died, and he didn't teleport, I assume.
He might have teleported. We don't know.
We don't know yet, I guess. But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in the science. When explained, they all leave at high velocity. I know he's not German, Molokai. I said we know he studied in Germany, but I said I'm gonna do it anyway.
Listen, Malaguy's not here to listen to us. Malaguy's here to insult us.
Now's
And
probably not a
we
good time
hate
to
him
mention that
for
your
it.
zeal made my concentration leave for a while, too. Hello. Yesterday's demonstration. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday. The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Arg! Yes, you could interpret results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success. You've lost me. I saw it with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Assman was spontaneously disassembled. Till then, everything was going exactly as my
Mologai, have you
calculations
ever
had
met
predicted.
us? I made a man Scottish earlier for no reason. This is a thing we do. Why does it bother you now?
You listened to all of... We made Byakuya Tagami a cowboy. A Japanese, like, rich businessman. That was one of the first things we did on a stream. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis.
He could plausibly be Scottish, I don't know.
However...
Oh, Mologai.
The machine exploded and Mr. Assman in fact perished. I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Assman was an accident, correct? But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished. At once! But... murder? Never in a million years! It was an accident! Simply an accident! I see. I see. Harley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder. How exactly?
You know, just for you, Mologai, when that German person you keep alluding to shows up,
we'll
give just make him not German.
A painfully American accent.
Yeehaw!
Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody. On what grounds? Yes, it's newly established here in Britain. It's a Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. Is that a real one? Or are they making that shit up? The what? That one passed me by. But if the case is treated as a murder, then they'll say my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's important. This whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. Ah, I see now. Very snappy, this guy. So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibitions Showground yesterday.
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't been alluding to anything.
Yeah!
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Nothing at all? Nothing at all, Mologai?
Yeah, or rather
like
no.
Liar guy.
The devil is in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me. You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating. Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see. That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it. Dare to dream of such incredible technology.
I don't like this anymore.
One moment I could be here in the cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Oh yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in a mere blink of an eye, I could be at a great Parisian theater, say. The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach. So no more hiding in wardrobes or rocky seas for 50 days. I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk. My word! That's exactly right! What are the implications? What does this mean? Oops, that's got Professor Brunnybrain really worried by the hair of it. But look of wow, what just happened to me? Really worried by the look of it. Boy, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing. Maybe you shouldn't have started with, like, a human man.
You should have just sent a rabbit or something.
Yeah. And that's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes. Hurley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Correct. Well, anyway, I bumped into him in
Maybe not Herlock's science, though.
Not specifically him, but... I met a well-known investor, Mr. Assman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? I'm gonna keep saying Assman.
I know. I know this about you.
I understand Lord Van Zeeks is a friend of yours from your university days. Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, an all-around nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor Barak von Zeeks. What was he like when he was at university?
No. Ryunosuke. Albert's not Nipponese.
Huh? Talk about a leading question, Bruno. As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the von Zeeks family, with all its great aristocratic origins. I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood. Little darling.
He's the youngest.
Yeah.
You saw a photo of his brother. Portrait.
Something. It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there's a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of event? Dish the gas. Ah! I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zeeks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. The victim. The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Assman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man? He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars. I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then. Money for scientific research. I'm so envious. As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really?
An angel investor, even.
An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Assman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications. But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion. As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Assman. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life. Oh, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. I don't have superpowers like my great-great-great-great-grandfather will. Or grandson.
Son.
The opposite.
Yeah, the opposite of what you said.
I don't have I can tell if people are lying powers. So, Professor,
well, to be fair, neither does Phoenix. He just has a magic rock.
He has a cool rock that he found. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying. You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4, I swear it. What? You know, because I'm a nerd, you see. Yes, it's true that a man perished in a machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this. But still, I will never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life, not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please.
And men of science have never killed anyone ever.
Not even once. Do you believe me?
Not even ein.
Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pure pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories, but I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law, it's all I know. You have to believe me, please! When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor.
I wouldn't say nothing matters.
And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. All right, Bruno. It's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition. Sorry? Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it? Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. In my arm, man. Ah, fascinating,
hey man,
yes.
Check this out.
In Japan, where I come from, it's the symbol of a defense lawyer. Wearing it is very bracing, I find. Your words make some sense to me, but they are entirely illogical. What do you mean? Well, for example, I find this white laboratory coat that I wear for my work very bracing too. However, in my case, there's a perfectly logical reason for that feeling. Oh, really? What is it? I purchased the wrong size by mistake. This one is too small for me. The sleeves especially are extremely bracing. I can barely move my wrists. That's what you call logical, is it? Of course, it's entirely logical. That's science, Mr. Naruto. Alright, good. Fine.
Science is when your sleeves are too short.
Yes, of course. A new location has been added. Ah, there's a cop and a fat cop over there. 22nd October. 22nd October, the Great Exhibition Grounds, foot of the Crystal Tower. Ugh. The showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around into dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I've felt myself swooning 3 times.
Und if I'm lying, may God strike Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945. You can't say that.
Science has never done anything bad ever.
Science has never killed anybody. It's never happened. It did. The Jonathan Frakes video, it didn't happen. We made it up.
There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times too. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. Finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. Wow, something happened over there. What the hell is making sound effects? What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. It sounds like an argument. Well, we must go annoy whoever that is. Oh.
Hi,
Hello.
Ginny.
Hi,
How's
Ginny.
it going? Look at how much nicer her clothes are now. She bought, like, identical clothes, but just nicer.
But nicer.
That's fascinating. How did she pull that off? It's the same clothes, but they're not, like, fucking scrap bullshit.
She doesn't look like a street rat anymore.
Street rat. Imagine the entire line song.
Right, I've had with you this time. I'm warning you. I'll arrest you in a minute.
Oh yeah? Go on, Inspector. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence, so you know it. Wait, I know those voices.
Oh, powerful.
You've got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady, but I'm not in the sales to teach you some manners.
Just try, I dare you. What? Aggressive eating.
Okay, these two should have been the character. These two should have been the main characters of the game. This is great. Look at this dynamic. I want him to end up adopting her somehow by a series of misadventures.
I dare you. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat.
You don't know how big my throat goes.
Yoo-hoo, Gregsy, what are you doing up there?
Bugger me.
Oh, fuck.
Yep. Oh. Oh! It's you. Here. You're here. Here you are. You're here. Oh, that's right. He likes her.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
She makes him look good. She makes him look good in her books.
She makes him look good in the reports. Your ladyship. How are you, your ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship.
Does that make her 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue.
Unbelievable. I'll go have a word. Have a word with you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you.
Tobias Gregson, an inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. Oh, yeah, after the whole shit that happened at the end of the last game. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I understand why we were disbarred, and I also understand why he was put on LOA. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris.
He should adopt Iris too.
Surely.
She doesn't have a dad anymore.
Or there should be.
Watch it, sunshine.
Sorry. You're not allowed to hear my inner monologue.
What gives it? You tell me you're on this case.
Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate.
Dear me. That's the situation, is it?
Really that troubling? A measly
It's gotta be
$5,
Ginny, right?
Is that all you got?
Don't pickpocket him! You went clean, Ginny!
You could stand to carry a bit more copper in your pockets, Mr. Nara Ado. What? Hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is. You're gonna have it back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob.
Hi, Ginny.
This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket, or diver, born and bred in the East End of London.
That's the shit part.
In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago. I don't know where I got the number 3 from. This is the young girl I was defending in court. What's your problem, eh, Odo? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? You want a bag of chips thrown down your throat and all, do ya? I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here at the showground.
Nah, she went straight.
That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odo. Half a year's a long time. People can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. So you'll have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now.
Oh! I'm the dumbest man alive! Of course! I can't fucking believe they said her full name, Gina Lestrade, so many fucking times, and my stupid little pea brain went, huh, Lestrade. I wonder what's up with that. That's interesting. G. Lestrade, huh? Interesting. Anyways.
Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely.
Yep, she did become a class trainer. I can't fucking... I'm actually so mad at myself. Unless I'm just forgetting that I remember... Unless I recognized in the past and then forgot, which is possible. I'm not going to go back and check. But the fact we went through all of the time knowing her name, and I just fucking... She's an orphan bolo guy, I think. Probably. Yeah. I think. But yeah, that would have made sense to Lestrade being her dad. Her dad, her pops.
Old man.
Old man. The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls it that. What it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us.
What's that supposed to mean?
I really hope Ginny just follows Gregson around. And, like, that's her being, fucking... Like, that's her apprenticeship.
Yeah.
She's just like, I'm here now. I am now here.
I follow Gregson around.
I follow... Amazing. Like, incredible, immaculate dynamic, Steven. I can't express enough how much they need a series of 4-panel shitty comics to describe them flouncing around.
It's really good.
I'll be back up top. You hold down the fort here, right?
Right, sir.
Adorable.
This raises a lot of questions.
That's your new dad now, Gina. You're welcome.
About Gina. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina in connection with a case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was, as the diving weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done. So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective? You got it. Good, innit? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, eh? Wink. Wink.
What? Where? This is my Joker moment.
Talk about a sea change.
Joker, baby.
And then there's Iris' old man to think about. Iris' father, you mean?
Iris' father.
I promised her, didn't I? I said I got all the police forces around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him.
But we know!
Just a small promise then, nothing serious.
Ryunosuke, what are you doing?
You're so sweet.
Tell them!
So anyway, that's how I had to go at the test for Scotland Yard.
This.
Only trouble is, I don't read so well, do I? Just a small problem, nothing serious. And that's when Hurley approached Gregsy and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and made her a sort of apprentice.
Yes!
That was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson.
What a guy!
And brave.
Be
But you
her
know
dad.
Hurley.
Do that.
He enjoys
do
finding
that,
ways
do
to make
that.
people do what he wants. The great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words. So, the long and short of it is, if you've got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Ooh, what, Bruno? What? Why can you stop reading my mind? Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet here she is still. Come on, you're just known about that, are ya? The Legend of the Reaper, whatever it's called. Cool, you don't have to worry, Otto. If I didn't half worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. It's like I told you before, ain't it? The Reaper's gonna lock him upstairs, so he knows what I'm locking the inside. That I ain't really done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong might be stretching a point.
Him upstairs.
What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he? Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought. Exactly, so I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. Yesterday's incident. Or it was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine, and it suddenly started billowing smoke. Then it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment yet. Sorry. You mean, you saw it, Ginny? With your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean. The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose? That's gonna take some getting used to. So all I have to say is that I'm on duty and I can do whatever I want to. Get this, I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. No, you're so lucky, Ginny. Maybe I should just join Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do
More
it.
traitors!
You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You'd have no trouble at all. Then it's settled. When do I start? No, you can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success, in a way. It was. How can it have been?
Did the body get teleported or some shit?
Did the body get blown up into the tower? Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success. It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke and all that whopping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there. What? In the tower? Yeah, I had noticed that in the wide shot. See for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold. Oh, where all the glass is broken, you mean? Yeah, the cage what the victim got in to start with. Really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there. So, you see, it did kind of work, didn't it? What? I don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. I had 3 bob off you before, so fair's fair. Yes, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? The sketch of the experiment has been entered into the court record. Let's have a peek at that bad boy. This is not terribly helpful, if I'm being honest.
This wasn't worth $3.
No, it was not. About the investigation. Something Inspector Gregsman says before seemed a little strange.
What is worth anyway? Investigating's off all cause for all of us.
Yes, naughty old Gregsy ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh, right, that. Paul said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned about from your investigations? Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither. Why? What did the boss call them again? The forensic investigation team, I think? Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit? So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can't investigate. Yes, I've never heard of something like that before. Thought I could have a gander on the quiet though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him giving me an earful about it before from down here, didn't you? It's not bleeding fair. I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember it. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. You say something to him, Aldo. Go on, see if you can get through to him. He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is. We can try, can't we, Brunel? Rexy will listen to us. I don't think he will, because he's... not move. Is it move? I don't think it's move. There's some shit on the ground I can look at. Oh, it looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just here. Dropped or hid. This looks like a crossbow.
Yeah, it does.
What is this? Some part of the machine that exploded? Maybe. Could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps. What's going on here? Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. The mysterious contraption has been entered the court record. I shove it into my back pocket.
The mysterious contraption.
For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something. Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers, too. I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this would have been. I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Bruno. Oh, there's an up button, I just realized. Hey, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth? It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. It looks extremely durable. It's canvas, I think, with some sort of rubber backing. And the edges appear to be a bit charred as well. Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion. Let's make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn. A piece of green cloth has been added to the court record. Oh. That's where the cove ended up after his instant kinesis, or whatever they call it. Dead, of course. And yet they're calling it an experiment a success? What's the
They did teleport.
In a way. He went from one place to another.
He went from this life to the other one.
What's the wooden scaffold there for? You got a license for being stabbed. The coppers, all lads, set that up after the incident happened. Get the body down, I think. No, really. Didn't you help to erect the scaffold then? Nah, look out, ladies, Mom, I think. Wander around the exhibition and keep 'em on the lookout for the fun stuff. Fine, Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. Incredible, though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? I'm guessing no. I think he exploded.
Actually, it exploded and just fucking tossed his ass, you know?
How do I get up there? Do I just click on the stairs? I click on the stairs? These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. Thing is fucking crazy looking. 22nd October, the Great Exhibition Grounds, experimentation stage. And an excellent place to stop 3 minutes before the end of the stream. We'll find out what's up with this giant fucking ray gun thing later. So thanks for watching, everybody.
Cannon.
Have a good night, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
I didn't write a schedule, so we'll see. Bye.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Certainly not me. Uh-oh. I pressed the recording start button instead of the recording end button. Well...